Anna stood in front of the towering mansion, her heart pounding as she clutched the strap of her faded handbag. The sun was scorching, beads of sweat formed on her forehead, but she barely noticed. Her stomach was empty, and so were her pockets. She reread the signpost nailed to the mansion's gate. Maid wanted apply within. This was it, her last chance. It had been 2 years since she graduated from the University of Lagos with a degree in business administration. 2 years of moving from one interview to another, always hearing the same thing. We'll get back to you. But no one ever did. With no job and no family to fall back on, Anna had been squatting with a friend, barely surviving on whatever little she could find. When she saw the job posting, she hesitated. A maid? After all her education? The thought of working as a maid stung her pride, but hunger had no dignity. She had no choice. She knocked on the gate, and a stern-faced security guard peered at her. "Yes, I'm here for the maid job," Anna said softly. The guard eyed her suspiciously before letting her inside. The moment she stepped onto the compound, she was overwhelmed by the wealth surrounding her. Expensive cars, neatly trimmed flower beds, and an architectural masterpiece of a house. Whoever owned this place was a billionaire, no doubt. "You? Wait here, let me call my boss," the guard scoffed, looking her up and down before walking away. Anna ignored the insult, too hopeful to be offended. As she waited, her eyes wandered, drinking in the beauty of the mansion. She drifted a few steps forward, unknowingly bumping into someone. "I'm so sorry," she gasped, stepping back. She looked up and froze. Before her stood a tall, well-dressed man, exuding authority and charm. "Are you here for the maid job?" His deep voice was calm yet firm. "Yes, sir," Anna managed to say, her voice barely above a whisper. The man, Dennis Williams, billionaire businessman and owner of the mansion, studied her for a moment before leading her inside. He asked about her background, her reason for applying, and after some thought, he made his decision. "You're hired. You start today as my live-in maid." Tears of gratitude welled in Anna's eyes as she knelt in appreciation. Finally, her struggles had led her somewhere. Little did she know, this house would change her life forever. The next morning, Anna was busy cleaning the dining table when a sharp voice cut through the air. "Who is this girl, and what is she doing in my house?" Anna turned to see a strikingly beautiful but cold-eyed woman glaring at her. I'm the new maid," Anna stammered. The woman's lips curled in disgust. Rita, Dennis's fiancée, was furious. Dennis had mentioned hiring a maid, but Rita had expected an elderly woman, not someone as young and attractive as Anna. "I don't like her," Rita spat as soon as she saw Dennis. "She looks like dirt. Where did you pick her from?" "The gutter," she asked with so much disgust. She turned to Anna and asked, "Did you even shower today? You stink so bad." Anna was shocked. Why would someone talk down to another person like that? She looked down at herself, sniffed her rumpled dress, wondering if what Rita said was true. But she had showered that morning and was wearing the expensive perfume her best friend gave her for her 21st birthday. Anna might be poor, but she was clean and respectful. She came from a good family that taught her values. Rita, on the other hand, was a famous fashion model with millions of followers on social media. She was beautiful and smart, but her success had gone to her head. She looked down on others, thinking she was better than everyone else. Dennis knew this about Rita. He had seen her slap a sales attendant for not greeting her properly and pour a drink on a waiter for serving her with his left hand. Despite her bad behavior, Dennis loved Rita and hoped she would change one day. But his patience was beginning to run out. "She's done nothing wrong, Rita," Dennis replied firmly. "She stays." Rita's jaw clenched, but she forced a smile. If Dennis wouldn't get rid of Anna, she would. And she'd go to any length to achieve that. The next day, Anna was cleaning the floor when Rita walked by, holding a glass of juice. On purpose, Rita dropped the glass, making Anna jump as it shattered. "Oops, it slipped," Rita said with a mean smile. "I guess you'll have to start all over. I want it spotless, dirty pig," she commanded, walking away. Anna clenched her fists, her eyes burning with anger as she fought back tears. No one had ever pushed her this far before. She wanted to stand up for herself, but she couldn't afford to lose her job. Her sick mom in the village and younger brother in college were counting on her. Anna took a deep breath and tried to calm down. She knew she had to keep her job, no matter how hard it was to deal with Rita's insults. Anna stood at the sink, scrubbing the last of the dinner plates while keeping a watchful eye on the stew simmering on the stovetop. The aroma wafting from the pot was heavenly, and she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride in her cooking. "It smells incredible in here," Dennis said, his voice low and smooth, causing Anna to jump slightly. She hadn't noticed him enter the kitchen, too focused on stirring the stew. "Sir, good day," Anna greeted, bowing her head slightly in respect. Dennis flashed her a charming smile, his eyes crinkling at the corners. "What's on the menu for dinner?" he asked, his curiosity genuine. Anna's heart skipped a beat as she met his gaze, feeling a flutter in her chest. "Beef stew, sir," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Dennis's smile widened, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "I'm sure it's delicious," he said, his tone sincere. Anna felt a blush rise to her cheeks as she avoided eye contact, her shyness getting the better of her. As Dennis turned to leave, his gaze lingered on Anna's face, his eyes narrowing slightly. "You have some tomato sauce on your face," he pointed out, his finger gesturing to the side of her mouth. Anna's hand flew to her face, but the sauce didn't budge. Dennis chuckled and stepped closer, his thumb gently wiping the sauce from her lips. Anna's heart skipped a beat as his skin touched hers, a shiver running down her spine. "There," Dennis said, holding up his thumb to show her the removed sauce. "Thank you, sir," Anna replied, her voice barely audible, her face burning with embarrassment. As Dennis walked out of the kitchen, Anna couldn't help but smile, feeling a spark of attraction she couldn't ignore. But her smile faltered as reality set in. She was just a maid, and Dennis was her employer, engaged to the spoiled and arrogant Rita. The gap between their social stations seemed insurmountable, and Anna's heart sank, knowing that her feelings for Dennis were doomed from the start. "I'm just a maid. He will never settle for someone like me." Anna served dinner, carefully placing the plates in front of Dennis and Rita. As she dished out the food, Dennis caught her eye, his warm smile making her heart skip a beat. Their eyes met occasionally, and Anna couldn't help but shy away, her heart pounding in her chest. Rita, noticing Dennis's gaze, followed his eyes to Anna. Her eyes blazed with rage, and she cleared her throat to speak. "Anna, I think you should leave. I'll take it from here." "Thank you, ma'am," Anna replied, turning to leave, but Dennis surprised her. "Have dinner with us, Anna." Rita's eyes widened in outrage. "Why should she? She's just some dirty maid." Dennis ignored Rita's venomous remark. "I insist," he said, his eyes locked on Anna. Anna hesitated, feeling a flutter in her chest. "No, thank you, sir. I'll eat in my bedroom." But Dennis was persistent. "Please, Anna, join us." Anna slipped into the empty chair, her eyes meeting Rita's. The air was thick with tension as Rita stared daggers at her. If looks could kill, Anna would have died under the weight of Rita's deadly glare. The dinner table fell silent as they began eating. Dennis savored the food, taking a bite. "This is the best stew I've ever had. It's amazing." Anna smiled shyly. "Thank you." Rita snorted, feeling irritated. "It doesn't taste that good. You should be honest with the girl. I can make something better." Dennis ignored Rita's comment, continuing to enjoy his meal. The rest of the dinner was quiet, but Rita's discontent was palpable. For the first time, Dennis had invited a domestic staff member to join them at the dinner table. Rita felt uneasy, sensing something she couldn't quite put her finger on. "There's no way Dennis would cheat on me with such a classless girl," Rita thought, dismissing her doubts. But as she glanced at Anna, she noticed the way Dennis looked at her, with kindness, respect, and maybe something more. Rita's unease grew, and she couldn't shake off the feeling that something was off. Her urge to have Anna thrown out grew even more. Anna finished her weekend chores and decided to take a short rest. But her phone rang, and she saw it was her brother, Jacob. Whenever he called, she knew it was urgent. Their mother's asthma medication or Jacob's school fees were always the top priority. However, Anna hadn't received her salary yet, as she hadn't completed a month of work. She picked up the call, and Jacob told her that their mother's medication had run out and needed to be replaced immediately. Anna had to act fast. She called her best friend, Sarah, for help, but Sarah was broke. Anna's only option was to ask Dennis for an advance payment. I don't think he'd decline, Anna thought, trying to muster up the courage. Anna found Dennis reclined on the sofa making a phone call. She waited for him to finish before speaking. "Sir," I need to talk to you, please, she said, feeling nervous. Dennis put away his phone, giving her his full attention. His smile never left his face. Go ahead, Anna. Her name rolled off his tongue like sweet wine, causing her heart to skip a beat. Anna hesitated but continued, explaining her mother's medical emergency and requesting an advance payment. Dennis's expression remained calm, but his words surprised her. I don't pay my staff members in advance. Anna felt a pang of shame and stupidity. She had expected more from Dennis, but now she realized he wasn't as kind as he seemed. He hid his true nature behind his charming smile. Just as Dennis was about to continue, his phone rang again. He excused himself and walked away to take the call. Anna fought back tears, feeling embarrassed and defeated. She turned and quickly left the room. The next morning, Dennis was getting ready for work while Rita searched frantically for something. Honey, did you see the $1,000 I left in my purse? She asked, emptying her purse. Dennis, distracted, replied, No. Rita's eyes narrowed. I think someone took it, someone with access to our room. I think it's Anna. I heard her on the phone asking someone for money. She's a thief. I knew it. Dennis looked at Rita in disbelief. How can you accuse someone without proof? Maybe you spent the money without realizing it, or it's somewhere in this room. Look for it and stop making false accusations. Rita's face turned red with anger. You trust her that much, huh? Why don't we search her room? I'll prove to you that she's not as innocent as you think. She's a thief and needs to leave this house.